The Democratic People's Republic of Korea has officially announced that it successfully test-fired a new intercontinental ballistic missile, the Hwasong-17, on Thursday. State media said the missile was launched under the direct guidance of leader Kim Jong Un. The data shows that this missile traveled higher and farther than any previous ones. Let's go to our correspondent Jack Barton, who's in Seoul. Jack, so this is obviously raising concerns about what Kim might do with this missile, what might happen next for the region in terms of security. What are you hearing there?
Yeah, that's right. Analysts are widely dubbing this as the monster missile, and it sort of lives up to that nickname. It is enormous. It's estimated to weigh up to about 110,000 kilos when fully fueled, and everyone seems to agree that this is the largest mobile-operated, liquid-fueled intercontinental ballistic missile in the world. A missile capable of traveling more than 13,000 kilometers, so striking anywhere on the US mainland, and of also carrying multiple warheads, including dummy warheads. Having said that, this is exactly the kind of missile that is easiest for conventional anti-missile systems to shoot down. It is one that goes into a very high altitude. It leaves the Earth orbit. This missile on its test went about 6,000 kilometers, a little bit beyond, before it came back down to Earth. And so they're saying, you know, in terms of a conventional weapon, even though it's large and very intimidating, it's perhaps less of a concern than things like solid-state fuel submarine launch missiles and hypersonic missiles that the DPRK is currently developing. Having said that, you know, it's hugely symbolic. It's only the US, China and Russia that have had these kinds of weapons before. And the other thing that really causes alarm bells is this officially ends the moratorium, the self-imposed moratorium by Pyongyang on testing long-range missiles and nuclear weapons. And you know, satellite imagery shows that there is work going on at the old nuclear test site of the DPRK. They're signaling it is very likely a nuclear weapons test is coming up at some point. And the reason this really has people worried, one, there is the security, the weapons sort of side of this, but two, that is believed to be a heavily compromised test site, particularly test sites 1 and 2. And there's always the fear that another test at that site or future tests could blow the top clean off the mountain and spread nuclear waste potentially across Japan, South Korea, China and beyond. So all of these concerns going around at the moment now that the DPRK has definitely ended that moratorium on intercontinental ballistic missiles and on nuclear tests.
Thank you so much, Jack Barton in Seoul. The US has responded by saying it will strengthen sanctions against Pyongyang over that missile test, and the UN Security Council held an emergency meeting in New York on Friday. China's ambassador to the UN says the US should work harder to reopen negotiations with Pyongyang. Sarah Walton reports.
The US ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, told the Security Council that the DPRK's intercontinental ballistic missile capability poses a threat to every UN member state, and that the launch on Thursday warranted an immediate response. She said as a result, the US would put forward a new UN Security Council resolution calling for sanctions on the DPRK to be renewed and strengthened. The DPRK did not participate in the Security Council meeting, but the ambassador for the Republic of Korea urged the North to refrain from further provocation and re-engage in meaningful dialogue. The UN's Under-Secretary General for Political and Peace-Building Affairs told the Security Council meeting that the DPRK's latest missile launch was part of an increasing number of tests.
This is a flagrant breach of the DPRK's own 2018 moratorium and a clear violation of relevant Security Council resolutions. This launch risks triggering a significant escalation of tensions in the region and beyond. The DPRK has conducted 12 launches using ballistic missile technology this year alone.
China's ambassador at the UN, Zhang Jin, told the Security Council that Beijing was disappointed that dialogue between the DPRK and the United States had been deadlocked since the beginning of 2021. He said China was concerned about the latest missile launch and that the US should work harder to stabilize the situation and reopen negotiations. Also at Friday's meeting, the Security Council voted unanimously for a resolution to extend the mandate of the panel of experts that oversees sanctions on the DPRK for another year. Sarah Walton, CGTN, New York.